Brow lifts I've been performing for well over 30 years, and I've been involved in the evolution of the techniques over that period of time. The style of brow lift we now do, I was one of the first developers in the world of the technique. I was one of the first individuals applying the endoscopic approach to brow lifting, which I think is the absolute gold standard of techniques. Well, the endoscopic brow lift is the gold standard of treatment. This is a technique whereby we don't actually remove anything. There's no physical cutting away of any tissue. It is simply a repositioning of the tissue. The basic concept is everything being incredibly natural by simply shifting the position without any visible sign of doing so. The whole concept of what happens with the upper face, this is one of those procedures that is, to a great extent, there are genetic factors that play a role. It's not just age. It is the descent of the entire upper brow area that starts to take place. It does take place in all of us to a great extent, but early on in some individuals. So if the brow starts to descend, what then starts to happen? Things become heavy, the appearance of the eyes becomes smaller, the upper lids start to basically scrunch up on themselves, and it makes it look like we've grown upper eyelid tissue, which we really haven't. What's really happened is that the brow has come down and created the fullness and the heaviness of the lids. So many people will come in saying, oh gosh, man, my upper lids look heavy, I need an upper lid blepharoplasty. Well, rarely is that actually the case. As I mentioned, most individuals do not really grow upper eyelid skin over time, and it's really the descent of the brow. Compensatory mechanisms then start coming into play. People start to raise the brow because you want to open your eyes. And if you do this and continue to do this, then you start to develop deeper lines in the brow area. So we see someone who's holding the brow up, has deep lines, and still maybe looking a little bit heavy. They're certainly not in their 20s. So what we're doing with the brow lift is restoring that incredibly youthful position that then is incredibly natural. So the whole point is no effort whatsoever to raise the brow, nice flat forehead, and yet have the position perfect. Not surprised, not again like half of LA, but the nice position, a lot of lifting of the lateral part of the brow to unhood the eye. That helps tremendously with crow's feet. It is a dramatic and yet incredibly stealth type of procedure. Well, the brow lift is one of the key procedures that truly addresses exactly this concern. We see so many individuals who come in with exactly that concern. They've seen a recent picture of themselves. They say, "Oh my God, do I really look that tired or angry or sad?" The real problem is that the eyes and the brow are the first thing we see when we look at someone. We make an immediate decision. Oh, this individual's in their 20s, their 40s, their 70s, they're happy, they're sad, they're angry. And it's a caricature of position. If things really are looking heavy, then it will have that appearance, and of course one is then misinterpreted as, why are you angry at me? Why are you sad? When I'm not really. This affects individuals in their professional careers and lives. We have many individuals coming in, trying to get back into the workplace, high power, say, sales position or executives, and if they're looked at all the time, they say, boy, that guy's tired, he's falling asleep, or, why are you angry at me? That's not very helpful. So the best candidate is that individual where we're trying to exactly correct those changes. Our facility at Caroline Point, incredibly private, and we create a very seamless environment. You come in the given day, anesthesiologist interviews you, and quite frankly, the next thing you know, you're on your way home. We have the best of the best personnel who work with us and make this an incredibly seamless experience. The individual with the brow lift, with some of the evolution of techniques that we've used, we've now reduced bruising to often a real minimal, in some cases next to nothing. There are no visible incisions whatsoever. One can shampoo, wash the hair the following day, be up and about, driving, and feeling really quite good actually the next day. Some degree of bruising may occur around the eyes, a little bit of a shiner, can easily be covered up, certainly by 5 to 7 days. By 2 weeks looking great, by 3 weeks superb. Brow lifts are generally in the $7,500 pricing range. This is inclusive of the anesthesia facility, etc. The individual who, say, would require a more limited, just lateral lift, there can be some deduction from that. Basically, it's in the $7,500 range. Basically, look at the upper face and do so when looking at a mirror. One thing we do is we look in a mirror, and the first thing we do is raise the brow. And that unfortunately takes away from what the real appearance is, or what people really see in a candid moment. So one thing to do is perhaps look at a candid picture that's taken of you, and what do things look like when you truly are relaxed and everything is in its very natural state, and just look at the eyes, look at the brow and the relationship, and those are the factors we of course discuss during the consultation. We have a great deal of experience with procedures of this nature. I was one of the pioneers of the technique and have performed a huge number of procedures incredibly successfully. This is in fact one of the most satisfying procedures that we do from both the surgeon and the patient basis. I think we simply offer great results reliably, and we're also truly assessing the problem that many individuals do not see. They see upper lid excess skin. Their knee-jerk reaction is, "Oh, let's just cut that away." Often the wrong thing to do. So I think it needs careful assessment, and that's something we've been able to provide for many years.